dream scenario, essentially. You've done quite well in your LSATs. It's sort of like recruitment scouting, right? The universities will look at whoever has gotten the highest scores. And then you have an opportunity at one of the big 14, the top 14 that you mentioned. So what's the process like? Like where does a student go from there?
Okay, so you've got your LSAT score, you've got your undergraduate GPA, you want to get your letters of recommendation, you want to ask your professors, you want to ask your employers, you want to ask anyone you've interned under. You typically want 2 to 3 letters of recommendation like this. You also have to write a personal statement of about 2 pages, double-spaced, typically listing your reasons for going to law school. Of course, you want it to be personal in nature, not simply a list of everything you've ever done that's on your resume. You want to focus on 1 or 2 big things and focus on those. You might also submit some sort of optional essays, maybe why you want to go to their law school in particular. You might also submit a diversity statement if you come from an underrepresented background or have something unique to offer there. And that's pretty much it aside from your resume. So you submit all of that. Typically, admissions open in the fall around typically September. Law schools will open their applications for that cycle. Law school admissions is conducted on a rolling basis, meaning that they evaluate applications in the order in which they receive them, and there's not typically a hard deadline. Typically, they want you to submit them between September and February, but law schools now are actually becoming more open to receiving applications even as late as March, April, May, June, depending on their particular situation. As you said, it's kind of like a recruiting or scouting situation where everyone's kind of evaluating each other and they're kind of waiting to see who else will come along. And so you really are competing against each other as other applicants, and the schools are competing against each other to get the best applicants for themselves. And so they might actually waitlist or defer an applicant, even if you apply at the very, very beginning of the cycle in September. They may tell you, we're not going to decide now. We're not going to get back to you for maybe 5-6 months. And you're just sitting there waiting and waiting and waiting, but they're holding off to see who else might apply later. And so it's not really quite fair or polite of them to do this, but that's just how it is. It's very cutthroat in the US here. And so they might not get back to you for a while. Eventually they do. And if they do, let's say you have that dream scenario with 170 plus LSAT, 4.0 GPA, you're a really strong candidate. You apply to maybe a dozen schools and maybe 3 of them come back to you and say, we will give you a discount on your tuition. We'll give you a scholarship money to go to our school. And as you may know, law school in the US is quite expensive. It could be maybe $50,000 a year and it's a 3-year degree. So that adds up to be quite a bit, especially when you're not working at the same time. And so they might tell you if you're above the average applicant that they typically get, they'll give you money to recruit you to their school. And so they'll say, you got a great LSAT, we're going to give you $10,000 off your tuition, or maybe even we'll give you a full ride, meaning that we'll let you go to our school for free, which is an enormous benefit, of course. And so
yes, absolutely.
I tell people, even just a single point or 2 more on the LSAT can get you thousands of dollars in scholarship money. And so there's a big reason to retake the LSAT if you might do better the next time. Thanks for tuning into the show. Please subscribe if you haven't done so already to be notified of new episodes as I release them. And feel free to reach out if you need anything at all as you move forward with your prep. I'm happy to help however I can. In the meantime, I'll wish you all the best and take care.